This one's going to sound not nice, but is very, very helpful. Is that my number one money hack is I really do not give a crap what other people think.
What is up, Money Tribe? Mike Damazo here to help you make sense of dollars. How You Money is a series of interviews that looks into individuals sharing their financial journey. For this one, we're joined with the military money expert, Lacey Langford. Tap that thumbs up and let's send it. What's up, everybody? We have Lacey. I know I said it wasn't a podcast, but due to Zoom going on right now, this is how this interview will be. So for the first question, Lacey, what made you start in your financial journey?
What really kicked it, I think, into high gear is I was blessed enough to grow up in a family that I was taught to spend less than I make and save my money. Now, I'm not saying when I was on active duty at like 21, I always listened to that advice, but I knew it. And while I was making the decision to get out of the military and go back to school and deciding kind of what I wanted to be up after I grew out of the military, I thought I really wanted to learn how to take our money to the next level for my family, my kids, when I eventually would have them. And learning how to invest and build wealth was something that really interested in me. So that's kind of what kicked it off, is that I think I had a wonderful foundation and I wanted to take it to the next level.
So it was during the time you were in active duty and everything where...
When I started to decide what I'm going to go to school for, and I had got my undergraduate in business and finance, and then I actually got married on my spring break while I was still in school because my husband was on active duty. He was getting ready to deploy. We knew we were going to get married, and it was like we were going to have to wait like another year and a half. And so we got married, and then, military life happens. Like we had children, we moved in a lot. And so my career kind of really never took off after school because being a military spouse, it was very difficult to find a job. And then after I had my second child, my husband was getting ready to deploy again to Iraq. And I decided that I was going to use that year to do something for myself and for my future. And we always had a plan of during deployments, I made a commitment to learn something new. So like one time it was guitar lessons. I still don't know how to play guitar, so that one didn't really hold. So like one year I did CrossFit. Like there was always something. One year it was like going back to learning Spanish, all of these things. And so this year I decided I was going to do my certified financial planning program while he was deployed for a year. And that's what I did. And that's when it really kind of kicked into high gear.
That's awesome. I think with the current state of environment right now, it's like military families are built for this.
That's what I'm saying. My sister said something to me about being prepared. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, we've been preparing our entire life for this. I was like, this is our moment. Like all that preparation, all that planning, like figuring it out, we are built to do this. So yes, so true. Just adapting and figuring out like what to do with your time when you're stuck home with kids. And I think as a military spouse and being a service member, being a military brat, you learn that you have to make the most of something, that you set the tone for however you're going to move forward. And I think that is something the military community is really ingrained in them and is useful in this time, is that we know, hey, if we keep a positive attitude, like we'll make it through this and it's going to be all right.
So true.
We're definitely built for it.
So my next question, with all this time and being able to save money, what is your number one money hack?
This one's going to sound not nice, but is very, very helpful, is that my number one money hack is I really do not give a crap what other people think. And let me explain that. When it comes to money, how I spend my money or the things I want to buy, I do not base that decision off of what everybody else is doing. Whether what they'll think of me or what they're buying with their money has no sway on how we are going to spend our money. We do what works best for us, our goals, our values, our family life, whatever it is, that's how we're going to move forward with saving, investing, buying, all of those things. So I think that is a money hack, is to really stay focused on what's important to us and our goals goals, and that helps us make better decisions when it comes to our money. And that has seen us through a lot of craziness, because sometimes it can be tempting when everybody's coming back from deployment and they're like going to Disney World and they're blowing all that money. We didn't do that. There was other things. We paid down debt or built up our savings, those type of things, which, by the way, the savings really helped when my husband separated or retired from the military. So I think staying focused on what works best for us with money has been very helpful.
And who are some of your influences or inspirations in the personal finance space, like when you first got started to even now?
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but really my parents. That's who most inspires me and my family. The way that I've seen them prepare with money is my dad and my mom didn't just talk to us about money. They actually lived that. Things that they told us, hey, it's important to save money. Well, then, hey, when things got tight, my dad would point out, be like, this is why we did this. This is why we saved, because now it's going to help us not stress out and stay together as a family during this time. Or it's important to save for your future. Those type of things. So they didn't just say it, they did it. And a good example of what's going on right now, we're teaching our children, this is why we have saved up our money. This is why we are not maxed out in our expenses, the time commitments that we have. It makes it easier to make adjustments. So I do feel like my parents have really the biggest influence. But two other people that are not personal finance people, but business ladies that I think have influenced because of the way they've managed their business with money has been very inspirational to me. And the biggest one is Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx. I read her story, and the fact that she created this empire out of her own savings. So she had $5,000 and she built this thing on her own. She wrote her own patent. She saved money by writing her own patent, and then now has a major business that she is the 100% owner of, which I think is so amazing. And just the kindness and that she's shown kind of in her building that. So I think that's inspirational. And the other person is Bethany Frankel. She is one of the Real Housewives of New York. And kind of the same thing is that she was finding her way. Like she was on, remember when they did The Apprentice with Martha Stewart? Do you remember that?
Yes.
She was on that show, and she was like trying to I think be like a food personality of some sort. And then she was a Real Housewives, but then basically she is super rich now because she sold the skinny girl margarita to Jim Beam. And she came up with that idea just out of seeing a need for it when she would go out and notice all these ladies that were watching their figure, but still wanted to have some drinks, and same thing. She owns all of that. So I think it's, well, not anymore now that she sold it to Jim Beam, but she kind of built that. So those are two ladies that I think have been inspirational.
That's awesome. For the next question, name one thing you choose to spend extravagantly on.
I guess I could sum it up with family. That's where I will spend extravagantly on. So my husband and I, when it comes down to health, safety, security, that's when it's not necessarily a blank check, but that's where we will spend for peace of mind. To know that our family is good to go, that we're together, we're comfortable, that our kids are healthy, happy, those type of things, that's when we will spend the most on. And that's made a lot of decisions, especially throughout my husband's military career. There's always this thing where you locate. So let's say you move to a new installation and you have to figure out where you're going to live. Our big thing was they're already gone enough. We always wanted my husband to be able to come home after PT to have breakfast with us, because then he would be gone for the rest of the day. And we always chose a house. Maybe if we had to pay a little bit more in rent or a little bit more for our mortgage, that worked well with our family life. That was always really important to us. Like, might have to spend a little extra money on gas, but our family was safe and secure. Those are the kind of ways we made our decisions.
I love that. Just using the foundation of family to filter out the rest of the decisions, money-wise and beyond. What is the best advice you've ever received?
This one's also going to sound really weird coming out, so I'm just going to give it to you straight. The best piece of advice I ever received was from my father, and he told me being an adult sucks. And
I love that.
Yes. And, you know, when you get into your teenage years, you're trying to grow up a lot faster than you need to. And he wanted me to know that I should enjoy my childhood, that this is the time to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, try new things and explore and just be a child. because being an adult does suck. You have to make decisions, sometimes that are for the greater good, but sometimes in the short term aren't as fun. And he wanted me to know that you're going to get here. You are going to be this adult and have to do those things and succeed at it. But he was training us to be fully functioning adults. And he's like, right now, this is part of the training. We need you to enjoy life and to make these mistakes and learn from them and grow. So that's the best piece of advice.
That's awesome. That's a great one. Now, I know you have your podcast, you have your site. What is your most favorite piece of content that you've created?
I've done, well, it's around one subject, and that is how to build a powerful money mindset. I think that has been my favorite piece of content. I have an article and a show about it. And through my coaching, through all of my experiences, just as a regular human, but also as a financial coach, is really looking at the way people see themselves with money has to do with their success or what's holding them back more than people realize. And I think building this powerful money mindset is so important for success and just being kind to yourself. I think a lot of times people are beating themselves up about a past mistake they made or the lack of knowledge that they have, when really everyone is operating with the best knowledge that they have at the moment. You can't beat yourself up about something that you don't have. What you can do is maybe learn something new or not repeat that behavior, but really being kind to yourself and building this mindset up, I think is really important. So that is, I think, one of the best pieces of content that I've done and one I've personally enjoyed the most.
Who are you interested in seeing how you money?
I would really love to see how Dakota Meyer does money. And I say this because I feel like a lot of veterans, especially veterans struggling with PTSD or getting out of the military, are looking at him and his content and what he's creating. And one time I saw him talking about money, I think it was on Instagram, and I would really love to hear him answer these questions because I think it would be very valuable to the military community to know kind of his best tips and things that he enjoys. And I think it would be fascinating.
I'll definitely check him out. What are you up to?
Right now, I am really focused on creating better content for my website. I'm really excited about that. I think I've learned a lot in my growing up as a blogger and an online business owner, I think, and really working to provide the most value to the people that come to my content. So that is something I'm working on, but also very excited about. And just really, I think, coming into my own and who I am as, I guess, kind of like an online person in my business, I think is going to really help me provide more value and be honest and open and just myself. With before, you're still learning and producing, and I think sometimes I was holding myself back. And now I've really adopted that mindset of how I feel about money, that I really don't give a crap what anybody else is thinking or doing. And now I'm trying to apply that more to the content that I'm creating. This is kind of who Lacey is and the advice she's giving or the tips. And if you don't enjoy it, I'm sorry, but so I think that's something I'm excited about, is really improving that.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming to How You Money, and I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
Thank you for watching. Gently tap that thumbs up because it helps us out. Sound off in the comments below what you thought of this episode. High five that subscribe if you haven't already. Stay legendary, and I'll see you in the next video.
Time.